Oh, apparently I'm taking a selfie.
Well, tough because we are live. Nelly, take it away.
Oh,
Perfect. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Misadventures podcast. We are one down today because Matt is predisposed. I don't think that's the right word. Been removed
That just makes it sound like
for
we're
a week.
assassinated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly what happened, right?
He is very much
So
alive.
he's still living. So it's just the three of us
for
this
now.
week. Yes, for now it's just the three of us. Bob's freaking me out. So it is, of course, myself, Nelephant, or Nelly, because Nelephant is a mouthful. There is, of course, Bob. I'm gesturing to my left, but he's down. Uh, and then John, who looks shocked to be here.
Technically, in the overlays, Bob is down here.
Yeah, I got that one, and then
'Cause-
you're to my. Are you to my left or my right?
And I'm up here. So like I'm in the top right of the screen.
Oh, you're. So if I
Both
point
of
that
you
way, I
are
point at
to
you.
my left on the screen.
I'm using the YouTube. I've got the YouTube to my left. So I'm using that to judge where I'm pointing. But yeah, you're at the bottom, in the center.
I don't know,
You've
I'll
got
just
center
look at the
stage.
screen. Because, like, I could just look at that. I better mute that.
So the only thing I haven't planned is who is going to talk through their stuff first. So if anyone has something that they think is a
Uh,
good opening line, they are welcome.
I will take one thing straight away, which is
Yeah.
we have new art.
Oh yeah, we have beautiful new art
Yes.
because Blue's amazing
Blue has been hard at work on this for me for about a month.
and incredibly talented.
Yep, she's very, very talented, and this took a lot. I mean, I would be tempted to show you the chat logs, but we talked about other things in between. There was a lot of back and forth of just being like, that doesn't quite look right, and this, and that was between both of us. There were some things that she wasn't happy about. There's some things in this that she does not like that I have said I have overruled her on because it's like I like them. For instance,
I want to know the Chizzy hat story because that came up in the Discord,
so
and he seemed unimpressed that I guess one time he wore a hat with ears.
So there was a photo of him when he went to Japan. He went to a Japanese maid cafe because you have
Yes.
to.
Yeah, you have to.
And there's this photo of him with this terrified Japanese woman next to him because he is towering over her because Chizzy's like 6'2". He's a big
he's pretty
dude.
tall.
He's a big dude, and it's just this little Asian woman in a maid's outfit, and he's doing this stupid pose that he's in on, like, you know, like the cat paws and shit like that next to her, and she's doing the same thing, but you can see the fear in her eyes. And I went to Blue, I gave her the photo, and I went, "That's the pose.
That's the one. I'm just going to open my window.
So that's where that came from. We will probably modify it slightly. I just wanted to get the finished art out because we both kind of felt me and Chizzy are too similar. So probably going to change the color of the hat and the color of his jacket, I think. But at the moment, that's just kind of where we're sitting.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about this is one of the instructions that I gave to Blue was that I wanted these to be individual assets so that we could use them for thumbnails and stuff. So like me and Chizzy do videos. There's 2 separate versions of me and Chizzy so that we can use them. Again, for you guys were given them to do what you wish with, as long as Blue's credited and it some way leads back to the YouTube channel. You can do what you want with them. There's 2 different versions that you were sent. You get one without what is essentially the photo frame, and one with it. So, because it ended up being like, because the backgrounds used to be transparent. And then I said to Blair, I was like, go and stick a background in there because they look like Polaroids. So, and for anybody who doesn't know what a Polaroid is, because that's apparently like far enough away now that people might not remember it, it was a camera that printed photos out of it.
I had a really cute one when I was little. It used to print little tiny ones that you had sticky back on the back. So you peeled it off and you could stick them wherever you wanted. And that was like the best thing in the world. I loved that.
Somebody at my work brought one of them in like a year or 2 back. So there's a whole bunch of like random pictures from the office stuck to the office fridge.
That's cute.
So that's...
thank you. You posted.
That's kind of the big thing, the new thing for the channel.
The new look.
From the last 2 weeks is that's existing now. There wasn't anything wrong with the old art, which is something that, you know, I said to Blue. I was like... But I did say to her as well... It's a good idea and it worked for what we needed at the time, but when you compare the 2 together, it doesn't look great compared to the new one, and it doesn't take away from what it is, because it's still it's a good image on its own, but when you take the 2 and you put them side by side, the new one's much better because it fits what we do, who we are, the shows that we do. It works for everything, and plus we were going to modify it so that Phil would be Nelly, but then there wasn't really much point because, like, the name on the thing was now wrong because we changed it over to Misadventure Inc. It's no longer the Misadventures of John and Friends. Phil was in there and he's no longer part of the team, so we took him out and everybody gets their spot, everybody's front and center, and actually the 2 main people on the channel, because me and Chizzy was doing the Let's Plays, and there's like 6 videos a week when we're actually uploading, I made sure that we were away and that everybody else was highlighted in the center. Blue doesn't
I'm happy that I'm
We've
right
had a
in the
compliment in chat.
Blue doesn't like symmetry either, so she's not happy with the fact it's symmetrical. And I went, but it looks much better. It just, everything sits
nothing wrong with symmetry.
Right. Everything just sits
I particularly like the color scheme.
I love it.
Yeah, that was something we kind of went back and forth on as well. Was color schemes, and I just kind of said to her, like, I like oranges and I like purples.
Well, that's what you got.
Yeah. So I
like apples.
I said like the diagonal lines are like oranges and purples, and then the rest was kind of up to her with that, and she's done a really good job with that orange highlight through the middle. I really like it. I really like it. And then just sort of the rest of the art and the banners and stuff all kind of fit in nicely. Like the finishing touches, man. Like just, and I remember because it was Thursday, so she actually finished it on, is it Wednesday? About 8 o'clock on Wednesday evening, and I'm sitting there, and I'm just like, can I get it now, Blue? Can I get it? And she just kept delaying it, and I'm like, what are you doing? Give it! But it was just because she was like busy doing other stuff and that. And I was just like, fair enough.
You know, having her own life.
So yeah, I mean that's where we're at with that. Just as well quickly in terms of uploads, I was just saying to the guys before we went on, Bob is still uploading his Minecraft stuff. But me and Chizzy have taken a temporary break because
Blue's here.
hello Blue.
We were all you just missed the whole session
Yeah,
on
you
complimenting
just-
your artwork.
You just missed 10 minutes of us talking about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's I have had a very stressful week at work last week, so I took the Sunday to myself, and so we did like this really good episode of Transformers, but it's the Autobots, and we still haven't uploaded the last 3 Decepticons. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back over them and do like a stream of consciousness over the top of it and just kind of view us. We won't be reacting like we would if we were playing the game. We're just gonna be chatting shit for I don't know 3 hours I think is what's left on it, and then we'll go back to normal uploads, and we'll see kind of where it balances out, whether people like the stream of consciousness stuff or they like us actually actively in the game. But this we're so proud of this Transformers episode, so proud of it, and just really want to get it up, but I also want to make sure that the series is finished. Like the Decepticon part of it's finished, and then we're gonna be doing. We haven't decided yet. We were thinking about Astral Chain, but it seems it's quite a weird game, and we've both kind of played it already. But Link's Awakening is out in 9 days, so I think that might be the next one that we do.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all I've got for the channel art needs. I do have more to talk about, but
On the topic of Astral Chain,
yeah,
me and the boyfriend were trying to find a physical copy of that, and they are non-existent. like we went to game and we were like, did you have one? And the guy was like, no. And I'm gonna be honest, you're gonna be really lucky to get one.
yep. So
Like why?
It's
Because he's run out of storage on the Switch, so he was like, I kind of want the physical one, so I don't have to delete stuff. And now he's had to go through and he's had to delete things that he really didn't want to delete because you
just
can't
a
get the
minute,
physical
that
one.
happened because A, Nintendo are terrible for keeping stock of things, and B, it's a platinum game and it's a high profile that people have been wanting for a long time.
Yeah.
Because Nintendo's stock has never been great, especially in the UK. I mean, Christ, look at the
But game
Amiibo
just had
situation.
piles. Like it had a whole shelf of the digital ones,
Yeah,
not a single physical.
because there's obviously not a limit on digital codes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just what happens if it's a big title from Nintendo, and like maybe Nintendo aren't necessarily positive that it's gonna sell, you know,
Yeah, that's true.
100,000 copies in a week.
Yeah, I suppose if you
they'll-
make the physical ones, that's more of a problem then.
they'll maybe just like
Yeah.
dump a couple of thousand, like tens of thousands in. They'll maybe not just send like a ton of stock over, and that's generally how they've worked. Because the Wii U is the same. You know, you go into somewhere like CX, or I don't know if Gamer's still selling Wii U games pre-owned.
I think, yeah.
It's a very small selection, and it's not like. And fair enough, the Wii U only really ran for 2 years, but there was enough that came out on it that there would be more physical than you would think. But then you go look at the Wii, and you just see walls of Wii games.
Yeah.
Because it was
Yeah.
just so much shit released on that. It was unreal
Yeah.
how much shit released on that. But it's just limited stock. It will eventually reappear. You could have ordered it on Amazon. Amazon might have been able to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think he just got the digital one because he managed to find one that was the same price. Because the physical one was cheaper actually.
Sometimes you get that.
The ones that he found,
Yeah.
and then so he was like, and also it was what he wanted, but then in the end he just went for, he found a cheap digital one. I was like, I'll just uninstall stuff, but I can't remember. Oh, it was Devil May Cry, I think.
First one.
Devil May Cry. Yeah, so basically he uninstalled Devil May Cry on the Switch, which he adores.
That's quite a sacrifice.
Yeah, so he was really upset. Well, he wasn't really like upset. That's probably wrong phrasing. You know,
No, I get
first
that.
world
It's
problems
frustrating.
and stuff.
What to do though is tell them to keep an eye on Amazon, because I got 128 gig micro SD for like 8
Yeah.
quid.
Yeah.
And you'll get a lot more shit on there. Sometimes you get the 256 for like 25, 30 quid as well. and like 90% of my library fits on my Switch at the moment. So,
It's good.
Sorry, I'm just on Twitter promoting this, and once again I see Bob. Honestly,
Making what bad jokes?
so Matt tweeted out, for those of you with a load of pins, how do you guys display them, like a board or something? And then underneath is Bob's reply of get a pin cushion.
I couldn't help myself.
Yes.
You shouldn't be allowed on Twitter, man.
You're the one that encouraged me to go back on and start using it.
Yeah, to promote what we're doing.
Not
Yeah,
make dad jokes.
If
He's
I
getting
get lots of
popularity for
likes,
he's getting
Yeah.
popularity for the dad jokes. It's what he's doing, John. He's sacrificing his own integrity for the promotion of this podcast and the YouTube channel.
I wouldn't say it's the integrity of being.
It's okay, Bon. It's a sacrifice. We accept your sacrifice.
Fair enough.
I'm kidding.
I mean, I have been able to get the odd like here and there, and
Yeah.
I've got 7 followers, one of which is not a member of this group.
The thing is, everyone loves a dad joke, but they're only
Yeah.
good because everyone pretends to hate them. If everyone was really happy and loved them, they wouldn't be nearly as funny.
Yeah.
No,
It's impactful.
I legitimately hate dad jokes.
it doesn't.
And
He
I
thinks they're
legitimately
hilarious.
hate puns, which makes it even worse when I crack them at work, because I work in a kitchen. So there's a lot of puns you can make.
Oh yeah, that's some
And I
seriously
usually
good material.
leave at the end of the day going, I should just hang myself because I've made it. I particularly
Positive vibes.
dislike some of Bob's puns because they are bang your head off a wall for a while until you feel better kind of level of puns.
That's what I'm good at.
Is that why your walls are damaged?
Yeah, that's why my walls are damaged.
God's sake, Bob, stop damaging his walls.
The best thing is, it's all remote, so legally I can claim it's not me.
This is true.
Anyway, someone else's turn.
Anyway, you done?
Yeah, for now.
Yep,
Okay, you're coming back. Okay. Yeah, Bob.
I'm gonna jump in. So I spotted something this morning actually that caught my interest, and yeah, you saw the links that I posted.
Oh, was
earlier.
this? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Doomka.
Yeah, Doom vodka. It's actually bone vodka, which I thought was interesting. And I was like, ooh, a Doom drink. I think I might go get that. And then I was thinking to myself, it's vodka. I don't like vodka.
Yeah, but you gotta have it anyway.
And I realized the only reason I wanted this was because it was Doom branded. And I'm like, fuck. Suckered in on the branding wagon right there.
Pretty much, and that's
Yeah.
how they get you, man. That's advertising.
Yeah.
101.
And it was super obvious as well. I was reading the article, and like the company who are actually distilling this stuff said, "It's like, oh yeah, we're trying to tap into the games market for X reasons." I was like, yep, they're just playing
Yep.
me.
They're
Like
teasing you.
I'm just fuck.
You'll buy it.
You don't know you won't.
You'll buy it and you'll have it sitting on a shelf and you'll never drink it. You'll just have it sitting there and then you'll be like, people will come round and they'll be like, oh, what's that? And you'll be like, that's my Doomka.
Yeah. And the thing is, right, it's not terribly priced. It's £45.
What they really should have done is it's coloured it red.
It's bone vodka. It's mostly white.
Yeah,
put stuff in it.
Doom's known for its viscera and its blood and its
Yeah, true.
violence, so they really should have coloured it
But
red.
it is actually made from cow bones. That's the weird.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd be willing to drink that, honestly.
Why?
If someone
I don't know,
offered me a
I'm
taster,
not a big fan of vodka as it is, but then when you go,
made
it's
with real
made
bone.
from bones. You can't.
So what it is
I'll
like
have that in my orange juice, thank you.
just a bone sticking out the
Yeah,
juice.
that's what I drink in pubs. When I say I only drink vodka and orange juice, what I really mean is I have a vodka with a little bone stuck in it.
Classy.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. It sparked a lot of thinking in me about like just how hooked I am on some things, and then I get like I look at some folks.
So I can actually right now I can point out a piece of evidence that ties in with what you're about to say as well, which is if you look at that shelf just behind Bob's head, there is a space rocket, and he likes space, and he spent money, like decent money on it, because it was the Apollo rocket, just because it's made out of Lego.
Yeah. I mean, I'd been
I
wanting
didn't
an
make
Apollo
Look,
model.
I will hold my hands up to that. I did not help in that situation because I was the devil on the shoulder going, Bob, there's only one left. Buy it."
That's because you knew how much it meant to me.
Oh yeah, for sure, man.
like, I really wanted that model. I mean, I'd been wanting an Apollo rocket model for ages. I'd been wanting a Saturn V for ages, and I'd looked at kits and I was considering it, humming and on, and then I heard the news about the Lego one. And I was like, I have to have it. I like Lego, and I love this. I love the Saturn V.
You were gonna pre-order it, and then you just never got round to it. And then
Yeah.
my dad spotted it, and he was like, because it was a place where he used to work and is now working again. He spotted it, and he kind of just said to them, "Look, can you hold it?" And then I said to you, because you couldn't go get it because you were too busy.
Yeah, I couldn't get it on the day, but I was able to go like a day or two after.
I went for you. Remember, you sent me the money, and I went for you and got it.
Oh, that was it, and I picked it up from you.
Yeah, because you could get to a bank to transfer me money, but you couldn't get there for as long as they were willing to hold it. Because they were like, one left, we'll hold it till the end of the day, and I was like, just go sort it, and I will go and get it for you.
Yeah. Good times.
We went to the Lego shop whilst we were in Birmingham, and we were looking at all the
Birmingham
Overwatch, Overwatch Legos.
How is the Birmingham Lego shop?
Eh.
Yeah, Glasgow's is kind of eh.
It's quite small.
The
I mean, I don't know. I don't have a lot of reference for size of Lego shops, but it's not.
Even the London one,
massive.
like London one's big, but I
quite
wouldn't say
like
it's
the
huge.
London one because they have
Oh,
a
so
lot
did
of
I.
lot of different stuff. Like, because you go into the Glasgow shop, and I've been into there's the Glasgow one. There's the London one. I've been into another one. I think Liverpool. I've been into London, Liverpool. But you go into the London one, and they've got like sets, but they've got like a Big Ben. They've got like this dragon thing and stuff hanging over the door. Some really cool stuff in there. But when you go to Glasgow or you go to Liverpool, it's just selling Lego. I'm like, I'd go to that in fucking John Lewis or some shit. You know?
Yeah.
Like, you kind of want more of an experience when you go into a Lego store, because that's the whole point of them. And the other thing as well, when we went to the London one, you go upstairs and there's just a wall of like buckets where you can just buy individual bits of Lego.
Oh yeah, this place had a pick and mix.
The Glasgow
A
one's
Lego
got,
pick and
like,
mix.
4 bins. You know, like,
This had a wall of like, you know, the
yeah.
proper pick and mix, like, you know, when you go into like a wall and it's all the little tiny plastic things. And I was like, I just love pick and mix. And I was like, it doesn't have to be an edible pick and mix. I just wanna play with it and get all the little different colours.
What's really good about that as well is it's not super expensive. It's way cheaper than I thought it would be. But I think they charge the same prices as what they would if you were buying them individually on the website. Because like I sold kits off.
Liz is having a great time in the chat.
Yeah.
She's encouraging stealing candy from babies.
I sold off a couple of kits before I moved back up here, and they were missing some bits. But what I'd done is the guy who came to buy them, I wrote down, I found out the parts that were missing. I wrote them down for him. I says, look, you can buy these on the website. You can get them in that colour, and you can do it. You can just put them on. It'll cost you like maybe an extra £2 or £3 plus whatever they want for postage. And they're like, cool. And then I made like 90, 95 quid out of that. So, but yeah, it's just some of them are really disappointing. Like, it was quite cool when I went to Liverpool one, because I went in it on Boxing Day, which you would think it would be busier than it was, but it wasn't. It wasn't that busy because I was meeting my cousin because he was working there for a while, and
but like a lot of people don't go out on Boxing Day. Like people think Boxing Day will be busy, but like
you kind of
a lot of people chill.
For me, I judge it on working Boxing Day. So like I've worked Boxing Day, and Boxing Day is normally quite busy, but then it depends on.
But it depends on the industry. Yeah.
It depends on the type of retail. Toy shops, though, you would think would be more busier because it'd be kids want to spend their Christmas money. But it was. But what was cool is it was just after the Ultimate Collector's Millennium Falcon had come out, which is the fucking massive one, and that was boxed up on a wall, and I was like, I need 600 quid right now.
They had some great things. Like they had the Stranger Things one. So it's like a normal
really
top and then like a.
For what that is. Jesus. Although the big collector's edition Hulkbuster is like 100 quid in Smiths, so I'm like,
But Lego is ridiculously expensive. It's just a
It is.
brand.
It's got cheaper.
Yeah.
It did. It went up. So when Brexit happened, or when Brexit was talked about and the vote happened and that, it went up. And it went up quite high, actually. Because it was like, kits that you could buy for 20 quid had gone up to like 35 quid. And I just
Yeah.
stopped. I just stopped buying Lego unless I saw it on sale somewhere, which is, again, super rare. But then, within sort of the last 6 months, they've gone back down in price, because right now there's one I keep meaning to pick up, but with the cat being the way he is just now, it's difficult, because he'll just sit and fucking take the little bits or knock it off a shelf or something. There's a Batmobile.
And foreign bodies, if he eats one, they're very expensive things.
There's a Batmobile out, which I thought would be like 35 quid. It's not, it's 20. So I'm like, ooh. But prices have dropped down to where they were, if not lower now, so it's kind of coming back round where it's you can buy some of the smaller kits and they're still affordable.
Yeah.
My issue right now is shelf space. I need to buy more bookcases.
I need the bookcases.
Well, I'm re-expanding and rebuilding my PlayStation collection, and I'm also going back to kind of buying whenever I see like a physical game for like a modern system, PS4 or something like that. I'll pick it up as well, just because I miss not having that there. Like I have a lot of digital stuff for PS4, but I don't have a lot of physical, and it kind of feels like I've got this like basically 2 shelves of PlayStation 2 games, and then it just stops because everything else is basically digital from that point on. So I've gone back to kind of just whenever I've got like I'll pick up tips after a week or something like that, and I'll go and spend like a tenner on games. So like PS3 collection's building again. And that's where all my space is going, because every time I come back with more, I'm like, I have to take that off the shelf now and put it in a box in the cupboard.
See, I don't have that much stuff because I moved a lot. All like the books and stuff. I had like a whole massive bookcase of books, and my books went down to about 20 books that I really liked.
What?
You guys okay?
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah,
chatting.
cut out a little.
Okay, everyone
been
went
quite
really
active in
quiet and
chat.
just sort of froze, and I was like, "Have I disconnected?"
No.
No, I'm reading chat. I'm reading chat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Liz talking about her jelly bean dominancy. Don't laugh at me. It's not my fault. I forgot what I was talking about.
Books.
Books. Yeah. So I haven't got much stuff anymore. Like I have about 7 physical Xbox games, and yeah, about 20 books, most of which are Terry Pratchett's or Skullduggery Pleasance.
I think you kind of experienced this as well, but when I moved in here, I didn't think I had a lot, but then all my stuff that I hadn't brought up from Edinburgh came up, and I was like, oh.
See, I did that with uni because I was at uni, and obviously I lived in like one room at uni. But then when I moved out, I was like, yeah, it's one room, and it's a way bigger room. And then I was like, ah, shit. Like, oh, no.
Definitely, I found the same thing. Like with this house,
You chucked a lot of shit out as well, didn't you?
Yeah, we were like, right, before we move, we are going to take as much stuff as we can down to the tip. If it's broken, if not been used for like 6 months, then we're seriously going to get rid of it.
Yeah.
We gutted the place, and then we were still scrambling on the day to pack everything, and like we still filled this house up with the same stuff.
Because when I came down, we saw the house. Went into that. Went into your what was
Spare
supposed
room.
to be your craft room, and it was just full of all the stuff that you hadn't got a chance to get to yet. And it was just like, okay,
mountain stuff everywhere.
Piles of stuff in corners where they're just like, we'll just put it there just now until we can be bothered dealing with that.
The tumble dryer's still in there.
When my parents moved, they had so they moved from their old house to a rented place, and when they moved into that, basically they had boxes piled up to the ceiling of the garage. And then when we came here, we had to downsize greatly, so a lot of our stuff has gone into storage whilst we're here, because obviously we're moving again to a permanent home, which will be big enough for all their stuff again. So all the stuff's been stored, and Dad was going around, and obviously they were doing estimates for how much the storage is going to cost, and the guy was like writing down on his clipboard, and my dad opened the garage, and apparently the guy just went, and then just crossed something out and wrote a whole new number, because he was like, they'd done like the house stuff And then
Yeah.
there was just so much stuff that they hadn't managed to fit into the house that was just stored in boxes. And the guy was like, right. Just crossed out the number, just wrote a bigger number. Like, they were like,
You should have just
yeah.
tacked some zeros on the end. That would
Yeah,
have...
just let me just add 3 zeros to the. But yeah, so they literally, I think more than 50% of the stuff that was in our home is now in storage. Because apart from anything else, all the stuff from my flat was also there. So not only was it my parents' house, which we've now greater than halved in size, but also it was my flat.
Yeah.
Is now all stored. So we've got like a house and a half worth of stuff in storage. Like
So
all
you
my
should
bed
really
and
be playing
everything.
for like at least a quarter of the storage price.
But I don't have that kind of cash. I'm not kidding.
Um,
But yeah.
yeah, it's
So yeah.
you just amass shit and you don't realize it, because like when you're a kid, you're not spending your money. It's like your parents' money,
Yeah.
and they only
Yeah.
buy you what they can afford. And then you get your own money, and you're just like, oh, I'll just
All
pick
the
up this.
things.
I'll just pick up this little thing. And then you've realised that you've picked up like 60 little things in the space of a month. And you
See,
go,
I have sort of solved this problem because the thing Bob looks at his dice because most of the things that I pick up are edible. So see,
Ah.
that's why. It's like I just don't have the storage space, so I just eat everything that I buy.
like,
honestly, yeah.
in here, it's like...
But yes, what were we talking about? We were talking about the Doom vodka, and then
Yeah, we went way off.
we
top.
went away off topic.
It's an acceptable off topic though, because we're
Yeah,
really
it
talking
was-
like about shit.
it was a transferable, and we're still talking about
Yeah.
life stuff, which was
Yeah.
sort of vague
because
plan for this week was more
price
life
of it-
things.
The price of it was one of those things. It's like I would normally spend 45 quid on vodka because I wouldn't normally buy vodka. I don't like vodka.
You should make vodka jelly shots out of it.
But Doomka's different.
Yeah, I know. It's bones. Bones.
I sure as you can see my light switch today.
Oh.
I've changed my angles. I've got one of those spinny ones that goes up and down in brightness.
A dimmer.
Yeah, I was
A
gonna say,
dimmer.
do you mean a dimmer?
Or a
It's a light switch that goes up and down in brightness, but okay, if you want to call it a dimmer. Then put your
Dimmer
labels, alright?
Actually, it identifies as a brightener switch.
We're
More
not making
positive.
those jokes.
No,
I'm
let's
just
not
wondering
make
if
those
it's
jokes.
Okay.
I mean, we
I'm
can.
sure
Make,
it's
I have no
not.
issue making them. But once we start,
Same.
it's like a can of Pringles, man. Once you start,
Yeah.
Anyway, did we go on to a second topic for you? I know we talked about
No.
because we got onto the Lego, and I think that's how we went through it because we started talking about your space rocket,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
sweets.
I
don't know
have
how we got into
to-
sweets. Oh, pick and mix Lego. That was it.
Yeah, that was it.
I just like backtracking how we got through.
I do
all
that
of the
sometimes.
topics.
I'll be. I'll
It
have
just
a train of
amazes
thought
me. Yeah.
that is literally going all over the place. It's not even like a train. It's not even on rails. It's just thoughts firing all over the place. And then I'll get so far and I'll go, how did I get here to this thought? And then I'll sit there reverse engineering my thoughts until I get back to the thing and go, oh, that's how I got there. It's actually quite an exercise trying to remember what you thought of 2 minutes ago. It's surprisingly hard.
that's why you just have a blank mind and you never have to worry about it.
That's why you just don't think.
Yeah, I wish I could stop thinking. That
It's
would
one
be
of
good.
my many useless talents is that I don't have to remember what I said 2 minutes ago because I probably didn't say anything 2 minutes ago.
Don't speak, and therefore you don't have to worry about it.
This
Excellent
is probably
plan.
the most I talk in 2 weeks is on the podcast. I'm just a quiet dude.
I
Is
I
this your
think that
release?
my workmates hate me because of the amount that I talk. I'll just stand in a room and just be talking to someone, and then you're looking at them. And this is the real problem in my life: is that I'm looking at them and I'm like, "You want me to go away because you have work to do," but I'm enjoying this conversation. So I just keep going, and they're like, "Please go away," and I'm like, "Yeah, this is
Fine.
great fun."
I can give you the exact time that it's time to go is when they just start going, yeah.
But that's the problem because we all talk to each other so much. We have like full conversations, and I'm sitting there like, I know you need to get on with work because like no one really wants to do work. But I've had those moments when I'm sitting talking to my workmates, and I'm like, I'm having a great time in this conversation, but I really should be doing my work, and I don't know how to know.
I think we've all ended
Get
up
out
in
of
that
this.
position.
But it's just an enjoyable situation of complete procrastination because you're like, we're both procrastinating, so no one's in trouble. Because literally everyone in this business
Well,
is currently not doing their job. Like, except for
Thing
maybe
is,
the vet.
like working in a kitchen, it's kind of different because I speak to Scott about games a lot and whatnot. And like if I'm doing prep, like it's different if I'm across the other side of the kitchen doing like my actual job, which is the washing the dishes and stuff. But like if I'm just sitting peeling potatoes or you know cleaning mussels off,
yeah, something mindless.
it's just we just sit and chat shit, and then you realise that 20 minutes have passed and your job's done. It's different in the kitchen, but I'm sure in like an environment where you actually have to be actively giving something medical care.
It's more the admin tasks. We put off admin tasks. We we procrastinated doing basically we do our temperature checks daily and we procrastinated sending those on to someone for like 2 weeks and all we had to do was just email and we were just like, oh, we'll do it tomorrow. We're terrible because like the admin stuff when you work in that sort of place, the admin stuff, and I'm sure it's like similar in like kitcheny, like in like the kitchen, because like the admin stuff just isn't as important. You're like, I've got a physical job to do. I'm gonna do the physical important job first. I'll do the admin when I've got time, and then you just never have time for the admin because you're like, oh, I'll just get this one more physical job done. Oh, just one more. Oh, just one more, and then you're like, oh, it's been 2 weeks. And I haven't sent that email. And now someone sent me a very angry email asking where it is. And you're like, so I'll procrastinate for 2 more weeks. And then somebody will be really pissed off, and then I'll actually do it before I get fired.
Yeah,
Speaking of procrastinating, we're procrastinating on getting on with the show.
Yeah.
we are. I've still got a couple more points.
I was going to say, what's your next topic?
So
the
the
start
next
is.
topic is a lifey thing.
Oh, yay. That was
Yeah.
the theme for this week.
It is. Yeah, I've started going back to the gym.
Ooh.
So
I
I'm
said
going to make this joke now. How long's it going to last this time? Sorry.
Well, I mean, it lasted a few months last time.
I know, but I know you. I get to make these jokes.
My excuse is Christmas got in the way.
Uh-huh. It's
It broke my schedule. It
it's
broke my
September,
routine.
Bob. It's September.
Yeah, I was going to say we have a problem, Bob.
Okay, it's only I've only
Christmas
been off
was
9 months.
9 months ago. Yeah.
You'll be okay. You'll
It
be
might
fine.
have been Christmas then, but it ain't Christmas now.
The trouble is when a routine gets broken,
Yeah.
it's
You have to
so
commit to
hard.
because I did that.
Yeah.
Because I used to jog before work, and then like I think one day it was like chucking it down with rain, and I was like, I really don't want to go for a jog in like the pouring rain, so I didn't.
No.
And then I think I went once, so I was literally going 5 days a week, and then I think I went like twice that week, and then the next week I went maybe once, and then I started having lions instead, and it just breaks it. If you've got to get if you're in a routine, you can do it, but then the second
Yeah.
something gets in the way of that, you're just like, oh well, I might as well just not go tomorrow then.
Lindsay,
Yeah.
if you can convince me that enough people will be interested in a channel like that, I'll make it. But I'm trying to keep the clutter down in Discord now because there was a load of channels that just weren't getting used, like half of the Minecraft stuff and voice channels and stuff like that. So I got rid of all of it and only kept the stuff that was necessary. So if you can convince me people are going to use that, I will add it. But you need to do the effort on that because I'm not gonna do it.
I mean, I would have things to contribute on that channel, in all fairness. Mostly
I would-
just sensible advice
So that's-
of
That's 2 people out for server of 50.
We have at work a chart, a laminated chart where we write down our weights every day. Because we definitely don't have eating disorders in my job.
Of course not.
My head nurse decided that was less worrying looking to have a laminated chart than it was to just write them on the whiteboard. And I was like, I don't know about that. That looks just as concerning to me. But yeah, but it's because like, but like it's not all like weight loss. You know, everyone's really overweight and we must all lose weight. Like,
Yeah, it's
2
like-
people are trying to gain weight and 2 people are trying to lose weight. So it's just everyone. It's basically everyone's motivation to, go the right way that they want to is basically this chart.
The thing
like
for
Weight
me
Watchers.
is
Other people see it and you're like, oh no, everyone's going to see I gained a kilo or lost a kilo, and I don't want people to know. Yeah.
it's when like you've got if you're like trying to like bring yourself in line with BMI charts, which are not accurate.
Yeah.
Like it says I'm obese, and I'm like, I'm really not. I'm a bit round, but
I'm
Um,
overweight. I think I'm still overweight
it's
according to
like,
mine. And I'm like,
yeah,
I mean, I'm not like
it's
pristine. I'm not fit, but I don't think I'm particularly
yeah, that's the thing. Like,
excessively large. I'm just a bit chunky.
most of the reason I'm going to the gym is really just to kind of is a general health and fitness kind
Yeah.
of thing of, just basically change the ratio of fat to
Yeah.
muscle.
I was going to ask, are you
Um,
doing weighty or cardio-y?
Mostly cardio.
Carby.
But there is some weight in there because that's still actually good. So that still keeps burning calories. Like I'll start with cardio, and then I'll move on to weights. But I won't be like doing crazy things trying to lift and build up tons of muscles.
I love
That's
the
fair.
fact, right? So what's going to happen when I turn 30 is this is all going to catch up with me, but I love the fact that I can eat anything and stay at exactly the same weight. What will happen, right, is at most I'll go up like a stone in weight, or I'll go down a stone in weight, but I will stay. But I know what's going to happen at 30. I know that it's all going to catch up on me. I know that that's what's going to happen because I can already feel it. Like I can already feel it happening because I'm like I can't eat the shit that I used to because like I've stopped. Because like at work, there's chips and stuff. People just like they put on more chips than they need. So there's just bowls of chips, and you're just like,
Could have one of them.
I'll just take a couple of those, and then you take a couple more, and then they've made too much risotto, so you have some risotto, and then
Well, we have that at work because obviously clients give us presents. So no matter how much you try to diet, when you walk in the staff room for lunch, there is a box of snacks.
Yeah.
Like we have a plastic box. Like it's not a very good box at the moment because it's all things that we've actually like people have bought, like a box of cookies for themselves, and then they're like, oh, I'll just leave the rest in here. But it's always got snacks in it, and it's so bad at Christmas because people buy us those big.
Oh yeah,
Like the big
selection
tins,
boxes.
and they're just like, "Hi," and you're like, "Thank you so much," but I'm gonna be so fat in a month. Like, because I sit there and I'm like, I have no self control, zero, zilch, nothing at all.
Liz, I'm sure I probably would benefit from a diet channel, but I also don't care. So that's
But
the
The
other
other
thing.
thing,
I
the
just
other
don't
thing,
care.
I was gonna say, yeah,
I
Bob.
I do not support any of these fad diet things where they're like, oh, like
Yeah,
eat only protein and like use the ketonic diet to lose weight. It's like, yeah, that's how you end up hurting yourself really badly and giving yourself major health problems in later life. Or these ones where you starve yourself one day and then eat normal the next and
I
stupid
did.
stuff like that.
Intermittent
I did
fasting's not a
paleo
bad
once.
Hmm?
I did. Sorry, I did paleo once because that's just basically don't eat, processed things.
Hmm.
So like
Nice.
you eat like naturally things. So you're not eating like cheese and stuff so much because that's like a created thing.
Yeah.
But obviously like milk and things is fine because that's technically like a natural thing. And a lot of like the carby stuff like pastas and stuff are taken out, but you can still have potato. So
Yeah.
you just sort of have to. And I quite liked that one, but I found it difficult to basically come up with ideas.
Intermittent fasting's not a
I
bad
love
idea.
cheese.
So you just kind of set yourself a window of time where you can eat whatever you want, and then the rest of the time you just don't eat. You can drink and stuff, obviously, but you just don't eat, and it kind of helps you just kind of regulate a bit more. Like I'll
Plus,
only
also
eat
there's
between
only
like 12 and 10 today, and then the rest of the time either asleep or.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But then also, if you've got like a smaller, I guess it does work so well for like a big time limit. But like if you've got like a smaller time limit, there's only like a certain amount of crappy things you can eat in that time without feeling really kind of awful. So rather than letting yourself like, which is why it's quite good. I like cheat days is kind of a thing that everyone always has, and they're quite good because there's only so much you can eat on like one day without being like, oh god, I feel awful. Especially if you're eating super healthy the rest of the time because your body's not used to
Your
all the
body's
sugar and the fats and stuff. So you're like, I kind of feel a bit sick. And then your next cheat day, you'll probably still have the things you've been craving, like a pizza or a chocolate bar, but you won't eat maybe 5. Unless you're me, who still acts like a child. So I still eat all the crap that I want. And then I'm like, why do I feel so sick? And why don't I want supper? And I'm like, oh yeah, I ate 10 chocolate bars today. That's why.
I still go and buy like multi-packs of Mars bars and then be like, I'll just have one, and then the pack's gone.
Yeah.
I'm looking at my desk and I'm like, oh, I'm the fat bastard.
This is my new be good thing. So I'm going to take like one of these to work instead of eating what I want from the snack box. I'm going to be like, this is going to be because this will help me. I'll be like,
And
I
we'll
am
come
allowed
back-
something.
We'll
but
come
I'll have
back in
this.
2 weeks and we'll find out
I
how
will
Nelly
not
did with
have
that.
this. If
Yeah.
okay, right, I'm setting myself a goal. I've got to show you this box in 2 weeks' time. But I actually know how many is in here: 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So it's not even 2 weeks. If I have one a day, it's technically not 2 weeks worth. So it's probably going to be empty. But I probably should tell you when it ended up empty. And how many things I bought in between.
Tell you what, put a photo in the
tide you
Discord.
over.
Put a photo in the Discord on the day you empty it.
Okay.
And
Also,
and then there's evidence of it.
it's technically only 10 because I don't actually like these ones because they're almond. No, I like almonds. So technically it's only 10. So does it count as
send them
empty
to
if they're still in there?
We'll accept it if they're still there. We'll accept it they're still there.
Well, that's easy.
Because I don't particularly like almonds either. So I don't particularly like anything with nuts.
That's a good idea. Liz has a good idea in the chat. I'll just buy a new box.
But then you would have
And
to
eat
eat
half.
some of it to make it
Yeah,
look like.
exactly. So I just
Yeah.
then I'll eat half. Bob, what was apart from the gym, or if there was more stuff
yeah.
about the gym and diets and things, please carry on.
Yeah, I'm keeping it super simple with all that stuff, like changing one thing at a time.
Yeah.
Because I know if I try and change too much, I'll snap very quickly. Just go straight back to my old ways.
Yes.
It's a willpower thing as much as anything. It's limited for me. As is concentration. I like burritos.
Oh, it's 10 o'clock.
It's 10 o'clock.
Did you say I like burritos?
It's been
I
his
do
thing
like burritos.
recently. We'll just join like a VC or something and just talk about random Mexican food.
Okay.
He's saying, I don't know what's going on with him. He's a bit fucking.
So yeah, where were you
Um,
going with your lack of concentration?
Yeah, the other it's kind of lifey. It's actually the stuff I'm doing on YouTube.
Yep.
So yeah, I've now put up 9 videos. Over 80.
9 videos, yeah.
Yep. The next one will be number 10, and
it's number 9,
yeah, it's the 10th episode.
and it's number 9. Yeah.
So yeah, I've had lots of other ideas of things I want to do. Obviously, I can't execute them all. I'm probably, when Kerbals 2 comes out, probably going to do something with that. Well, I'm definitely going to do something with that. It's Kerbal. I have to. And to be honest, I've actually had an idea for a sort of Kerbal series. I need to record it, and it's going to take hours to record because I'm going to try and drive to the North Pole. in Kerbal.
That's extra special funny because cars don't necessarily work in very well in Kerbal.
They don't. If you
can
get
build
yourself,
them, you can build planes, you can build bikes, but they don't work well. The physics are not built to deal with anything on wheels.
it doesn't work especially well. Like, I deliberately built a super wide, low to the ground vehicle, and if you go over 50 meters a second, it'll still flip over. Like,
No matter how aerodynamic you make them, doesn't matter how much you weigh
Yeah.
them.
I actually attached extra fins and brakes on the air brakes on the top to force it closer to the ground. So when I go forward, it pushes it down like a spoiler, and it was still flipping out all over the place.
They'll have fixed it, and it'll be like the world's most boring drive. You'll just be like driving along the road, like, well, this wasn't as good as I hoped.
Just
6 hours of you driving.
Bob, they'll have young blood it. They'll have young blood it. You'll go
Just
out,
playing
you'll
random
go do this
music.
really hard thing, and it'll be super fucking easy.
Yep. It'll be like when we did that boss fight in Youngblood.
That's what I mean. They've young blooded it.
Yeah. Apparently KSP2 though, I've said this in the last one, it's like they're gonna keep the difficulty about the same, but just make it more tutorialized in the beginning so it's easier to access.
Understand.
Yeah, 'cause, I mean, accessibility is an issue. in that
It's
game.
key. Like the first one, when I played the demo version, like 0.13, there was nothing. You literally didn't even get a control map. So you're just like, what am I doing? pushing buttons like nothing's happening, and then all of a sudden your rocket takes off and spirals into the ground. You're like, what the fuck? Yeah, it was super hard to figure out anything, and it wasn't until I found some tutorial videos like Scott Manley that I started realizing, oh shit, I got to learn orbital mechanics to play this game.
Have you seen the Because you said, I think you said this before, and it reminded me of it before, the zero punctuation video about Minecraft, where he was like, "This is literally like he was like, you shouldn't have to look up how to play a game," and he was like, you just have to with Minecraft because there's no, you're just dropped on a world, and if you wait too long, you die because something kills you. Like, who works out without having found out from someone else that you can go and punch trees down? Like, who thinks that when they go into a game and they go, yeah. Because if you punch them, you have to punch them for a long time for them to break, like a stupid long time.
Minecraft was not necessarily the first of its kind. There was probably other games at the time that were similar. I think it was certainly one of the ones that started the trend.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it was not the first one of its kind. There were other games
But
would be like
there's been lots of other voxel-based games before it, but yeah.
No, I mean just the
But
survival
he was
sort of aspect of it, going around.
The survival aspect. But like he was like, how are you supposed to figure out how to make a crafting table? Like, okay, you go, all right. Okay, let's see if we can get a resource. Oh, this tree broke. Okay, now you've got to turn it into planks.
Accident.
Yeah, you've got to turn it into planks first. So you're like, great, now I've got planks. What do I do with planks? And then you've got to put them in a square, and then you're like, oh, cool, I made a box. What does the box do?
I mean, that's one of the cool things about Minecraft now, though, is there is that there. It's built into the game.
Yeah, there's the crafting.
Yeah, there's the raft. There's the
Yeah, so you get.
But like, I looked up when I first played Minecraft, like, what do I need to build to like actually survive? And it's like you kind of need an axe. You need a hole, and you need a pickaxe. And I was like, cool, I can cope from here. Right, I've got this.
The thing that always got me was the redstone. Like,
oh yeah,
the crazy things people build with that. There's actually a channel I've started following called the Psycraft server, and they do ridiculous stuff. So there's actually a glitch, and I've been able to replicate it on the server I'm running, where you can break bedrock. It's really weird, and it's like, how the fuck anyone figured this out is a mystery. But basically, you set up a bunch of pistons in a particular arrangement. You then have a minecart with TNT in it, like go past them and explode at just the right moment, and it breaks the heads off the pistons, but doesn't break the base of the piston. You then do a bunch of manipulation with those pistons, adding and taking away different ones until you get like this weird box arrangement. You then fire it one last time, and it breaks one of the pistons out as a resource and also destroys a bedrock piece with it. So with that, you can break out of the nether's roof and get on the roof of the nether. It's just this infinite flat plane. And it's actually quite cool. There's mushrooms up there.
that's awesome.
And mobs don't spawn there because the game isn't designed for that. It's like, oh, the spawn region is down in this area, not up above, but you can still build up there. And the Psycraft server, they did this. They broke through multiple spots, and they built an Ender Pearl cannon. So Ender Pearls, when you throw them, will teleport you a short distance. And they built a cannon that lobs these things 5,000 blocks.
Oh, it's so good. I knew that was what you were going to say. That's why I started laughing.
But the Ender Cannon.
Yeah, I knew as soon as you said it fires the pearls that teleport, I was like, they're just firing themselves as far as they possibly can, aren't they?
Yeah. They can launch this pearl 5,000 blocks in an instant. And then they just hop out, like go through a portal into the overworld, and they've gone 40,000 blocks in less than a minute. Fucking insane. And like the crazy stuff they figure out, like
how to break things.
Yeah, like I saw a video of like the bedrock breaker, and basically it breaks everything apart from the last layer of bedrock. So you can have a completely smooth flat plane of bedrock in the overworld, and it's this gigantic machine. It's a kilometer in length on one axis, and it just slowly pushes itself along, like dropping duplicated Ender Dragon eggs, and then doing some other weird shit with it to break blocks, and then it just moves on to the next row. And they figured out how to make chunk loaders without modded content, like using redstone.
Cool.
Like, how do these people Like, fuck,
It's called literally nothing else to do.
Yeah, they are professional Minecrafters. They do nothing but play Minecraft for money.
So speaking of YouTube projects,
Yeah.
Borderlands is out on Friday. Unless anybody didn't know about that, Borderlands is out on Friday. Now this is something that me and Bob are quite excited for.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna pose a question.
Bob's like, come.
Pose a question to you, Bob.
Oh.
How interested would you be in either recording or streaming some Borderlands on Friday night?
Yeah, I'm up for that. I could record my side if you stream.
Cool, because I can use what we'll do as well is we'll be in a Discord video call, and
Yep.
I can take, because now that I'm using the other OBS, I can alt crop, so I can put your webcam in there and I can put my webcam in there, and just kind of have them quietly in corners. And we'll stream that, because what we were talking about just before it went live as well is it's really cool because I'm going to be playing this game from midnight, and I'm going to be hopefully playing it for quite a long time. So I'm going to be like possibly around level 20-ish, maybe more than that. And in Borderlands 2, to play with Bob at the same level without breaking the game, I would have had to start a new character, which I might do anyway, but in this case,
But you don't.
I don't need to, because there's
Yeah.
level balancing in the game now. So I can just play as who I'm playing as and still get all the stuff. And maybe get some of the early game rarer weapons at a higher level. So I'm still in that mode of not knowing who I'm going to play as yet. I'm pretty dead set on Flak, but there's also like Moze. I'm like giant robot that has guns, or Flak that can summon. But then I'm like, oh, the Siren. She's offensive in this game. There's an offensive Siren. She doesn't have to rely on other players to be good.
I'm like, I feel spoiled for choice with them. It's just like,
I was saying in the Discord yesterday as well, it's quite nice to see 4 hunters that are all unique from each other and from anything that's come before. You could argue that Flak and Gage are quite similar, but Flak can have his pets out indefinitely, I think, but he can only have one at a time.
okay.
And they do different things, like the different elements and whatever else. So he has options, whereas Gage just had Death Trap. And you could obviously change Death Trap, but not in any significant way. Whereas thank you, Google Mail, for sending me an email to tell me I was live on my own channel. I didn't know that.
Just in case you forgot.
So yeah, right. So look forward to that on Friday at some point. We'll be posting about it, but we'll do some Borderlands 3 live. Me and Bob playing Borderlands. You'll see his reactions more than you'll see mine, because I will have already seen most of what he's going to see. But
Are you going to do that annoying thing that people do and be like, this bit's a good bit? No, pay attention. This bit's a good bit.
No.
And then you're like anticlimactic it.
John never does that.
No.
You a good
I'm
thing.
actually being serious. I'm not being sarcastic.
So, sometimes sometimes I'll be sitting going, I can't wait for this. But then most of the time I'm pretty chill with that sort of stuff, because it's like, you know, somebody else, like if there's games that I've played ahead of Bob and be like, buy this and come in. And
almost
then,
always.
Like if it's something like a survival game, I'll be like, this is how you do this, because that's important. But if it's like a co-op run through of something that's just, you know, just a sort of tunnel game, then it'll just be like this is the example, right? This is the perfect example of it. BioShock 1. Now, Bob started playing BioShock quite a while after me, but
it's a long time.
So for anybody who doesn't know, and fuck off if you think this is a spoiler, because the game has been out for probably over a decade now. If you haven't played it by this point, you're probably not going to. So, spoiler warning, I guess. But the whole hook of that game is that you're being lied to throughout the entire thing and instructed with a key phrase, which is, would you kindly? So for the entire time Bob was playing this game, I'd go down to his And if I wanted something and he was going downstairs to the kitchen or something like that, I'd be like, would you kindly? Every single time. I planted these little seeds, and he didn't know until he got to that point. And then he was like, you fucking arsehole. I was doing it to him the whole time, and then the bit in the game where they tell you that that's the case, he just... It's so good. So, like, I won't spoil things, but if there's something I know about that I can get away with just a subtle wind-up that they're not quite aware of until it happens, that's what I'll do. Because it's much, much better, because you're not spoiling anything as such, you're just having a little bit of fun.
Yeah.
Which is what that was, because it was just the drop for him.
Yeah, because I didn't catch it. Yeah.
The plot twist for him dropping and then realising what I had been doing just kind of went... And it was good. It was so funny. It was so funny, because I can't remember if I was there when it happened or if you phoned me and he was just like, you're a bastard. I'm like, yes, I am.
I think it was like a day or two after, and
oh no, because I remember. No, I came down.
You had to prompt me.
Yeah, it make
you
sense?
had to prompt me.
Yeah, because I was like,
yeah, when you mentioned it, I was like, fuck, you have been doing that to me this whole time. And I was like, oh, fucking hell.
And it was like, I don't know, it must have been like at least like 2-3 weeks, maybe a month I'd been doing it. And I wasn't doing it every time. I would just like subtly, I'd just be like, every so often I'd just be like, would you kindly? You know? And it just like, it'd be out
Didn't
helping
get it.
I'd be out helping your mum or something like that, and you'd be there as well. I'd be like, would you kindly hand me that? It'd just be so subtle. So subtle. And it wouldn't, because I didn't want to do it too much, because it would make it obvious. It would make it obvious that I was up to something. Because if you do it every once in a while, it just sounds like something you've just started saying.
Yeah.
And
I think for the most part, I didn't even register that it was like a phrase that you were using too often. I think it was like one of these things. It's like, just like, oh yeah, it's just a thing he says. I didn't even pay attention to it. Didn't pay attention to it at all. So I just looked up the release date. It was 2007 it came out. So that's been out 12 years.
12 years. Yep.
So I was right with about a decade.
Yeah.
Yep. So we're good on the spoilers.
To be honest, if it's been out a year, I reckon you can get away with.
I like to think like with games are a little bit different, because some people buy games differently. Films, I think you can get away with in like sort of 6 months. 6 months I think is a fair time. Games I normally go like sort of 2 years. I think, because at that point,
and then people play them slower as well.
Yeah. After about 2 years, it's either the hype has died or the sequel is out. So you're like, well, we can talk about it now.
Yeah.
Movies and TV. Fair. TV's even like longer, I think, than movies, really, because TV again is consumed differently. You will either go to see a movie or you will buy it when it comes out on DVD, which is normally about 6 or 7 months after the film has come out of cinema. But with TV, people consume TV in different ways. I didn't start watching Breaking Bad until the final season was out, so I didn't know any of that.
I mean, I've never really minded like seeing spoilers for things, like unless someone like straight up,
if it's something I'm really
came up to me and was like, yeah, like someone who knew me was like, because like whenever I'm like, are you gonna watch this film or are you gonna play this game? Like I always say to people before I say a major spoiler. So someone like straight up just told me something, I'd probably be a bit more annoyed. But like seeing it on the internet, I'm like, well, it's gonna happen. Like I knew some of the stuff that happened in like the Avengers and stuff before I saw
my dad
the films.
When the last Spider-Man film came out, did annoy me, because I was texting him as the end credits were rolling, and he was like, "Oh yeah, you see?" And I'm like, "The credits aren't finished yet, so thanks for that." Hadn't seen that bit yet, Dad. Thanks. That kind of bugs me. So I'm texting him because he wasn't going to go see it. And I was like, "You really should go see it. It's really good."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, I heard about this," and I'm like, "You're an asshole." Hadn't quite finished. Wasn't out the cinema yet, and I did tell him that. So, yeah, it's spoilers are a weird thing. It's down to the person, but then you also have to take into account how other people consume content and how other people, and like how you consume it, and then how they feel about the spoiler. It's a very weird thing. But when something's been out for 12 years, I don't give a shit. Fuck it. If you've not played it, you won't play it after 12 years.
That is fair.
Especially when you get it on Steam at like £4 most of the time.
Yeah. You're very unlikely to actually play it. I've got so many games in my library, like anybody else. I'm no different. It's Like, I've probably played maybe 10% of my library.
You know, one thing that does bug me though, because it's actually just Liz has prompted me there with that with Endgame, is I think about I hadn't even finished running in the cinema, and I saw a post from Marvel on Facebook that had spoilers for Endgame, and I was like,
Oh, what?
"This is your. Why are you talking about this? This is your film that you have kept
Yeah,
under wraps
spoiling your
Yeah.
own.
for years, and it's not even finished its cinema run, and you're talking about things.
Yeah.
What? At least let the film come out in fucking Blu-ray before you do. Jesus. I have that film was so good that I bought it twice. I bought a digital one, and then I bought the physical when it came out because Blu-ray is just still phenomenal. Digital still has not caught up with Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Like the quality. If I had a 4K player, I would have bought the 4K one. But frustratingly, I forgot that the PS4 didn't have a 4K player. It just did digital 4K. So I have like a 4K Bumblebee there. It came with the Blu-ray though, so I still got that.
No, that's fine.
And I may Black Friday is coming up fairly soon, so I might pick up myself a 4K
Oh,
player.
yeah.
Just because I have the 4K TV and that there, so it would be a bit of a shame to not utilize it in some way. Because like it's weird because the Xbox One S's have 4Ks in them, but they can't output 4K. They have 4K readers, so they can play 4K content, but they can't do resolutions in game at 4K. It's weird. Like why would you put the
Well,
why would you
video,
put the player
like,
in it?
playing a video that is very, very different to actually rendering a game.
Yeah, obviously, but I just don't understand why you would
Far
put
less.
the 4K player into it because it would surely that would put the price up of it manufacturing those.
It should do, yeah.
But they remained relatively cheap, so yeah, I don't know, it's weird. What else did I have to talk about? Actually, Nelly, you've got stuff to talk about, and we've only got 40 minutes left.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure. Is Bob? Had you done?
Yeah, I think I'm done, yeah.
There's
Yeah.
always like these days. There's always stuff that we have like, and we just don't.
Yeah,
get
I've
to.
got so many I've got so many little things spinning around. As I could talk about them all individually, but some of them aren't fully formed. So it's like I start
Yeah.
talking about them, they might not come out.
Yeah. Okay.
Not that anybody's gonna miss it.
What
but-
I am quite
Well,
surprised
you've
by
got
is that-
you've got an outro, so if you can think of
yeah,
something to
fair enough.
turn into an outro topic.
What I am quite proud of between the three of us though is we're one down and we're easily filling this. So
Yeah.
Nelly,
Okay. So I don't know what of mine I'm going to do anymore, but well, I'll do so. So because I was hosting this week, I wanted to do like personal life stuff because I didn't have any topics. So I said, bugger anyone else who has topics. This is the topic. So on a very much personal, unrelated to gaming or nerdy stuff, life thing, I have I have a horse that I ride at the moment, and then before that I had another horse. But before that was my original horse, who was the first horse I ever loaned and was like my baby, and I rode him all the time. And he has been officially retired, and he has gone back to his original owner, who bought him as a foal, and then raised him, and then sold him to my riding yard to be like a riding pony. So he's gone back to her for retirement. So I went and I spent an hour standing in a field with a horse who, after half an hour, bit me.
Nice.
Because that's how he is. Because he's a dick. So, so you kind of like it's interesting how much you sort of animals mean to you. But that was just like a little personal sad life thing. But yeah, he'd already had like his shoes taken off and everything, so I couldn't ride him because he didn't have any shoes. So I had to just sort of. And I went down. I took like brushes and I took a load of snacks, and I learned that he doesn't like bananas, which I never knew, because I never really knew that horses did like bananas until I left his yard and went somewhere else. So I took him bananas in case, and he didn't like them, so I fed them to all the other horses. But I took him like an apple and like a whole pack of polos, and I just stood there and I groomed him in the field, and I took a head collar in case he wanted to come up, but he was like, yeah. So I was like, okay, well, we're doing what you want to do today. I was like, if you want to stay down here, that's
I
fine.
wouldn't have called polos for horses.
Oh yeah, it's
Mints, yeah. Love a mint.
Fair enough.
He ate the whole pack,
Sugar.
and that's why he bit me, because I was refusing to give him any more, because I was like, I'm meant to be here for a while, and you've eaten half a pack, and it's been 15 minutes. And he was like, give me the polos! And then he bit me. Actually, been half an hour at that point. But yeah, he's a funny beast. But he started ignoring me, and he was just sort of, like, he wasn't, like, leaving. So he was definitely, I think he definitely appreciated me being there, because he has a whole field, And basically the stuff up by the gate is all trodden down where the horses go in and out of the field. And he was standing and like grazing on that bit rather than going to where the nice grazing was. So I think he was kind of understood that I was there to like see him. And he did like neigh at me and stuff when I went down, which is nice because he hasn't seen me for a while. But then he sort of just started ignoring me. So I was like, okay, well, I want to stay here longer because I'm never going to see you again. So I went and sat down on the bank and he looked at me and was like, no, I'm ignoring you. That doesn't mean you can ignore me. What are you doing? And he like came right over and like stood over me and was like, get up, pay me attention, but like from far away. Just so we're clear, you still are paying me attention. So it was quite sweet. So that was like a personal life, unrelated to gaming thing. Why have I moved wherever?
Yeah, I've
Because
moved
you
too.
said that... No, you haven't moved, Bob. You said you wanted me to bring something up on screen, so I'm just getting it ready.
Oh yes, thank you. So because of the discussion last week, not last week, 2 weeks ago, but last podcast, in regards to what we are going to do on Halloween and the decision that it might possibly be a D&D podcast, I then got incredibly overexcited and decided that I'm going to teach myself, because I love D&D, or the idea of it, but I've never understood how to play it. So I love it from afar. Like,
Just a little bit of background on how crazy she went. So this was like a rough idea that we threw about at the end of last podcast about maybe doing a D&D
for about
session.
5 seconds.
Yeah, for that. And then for the next 2 weeks, basically everything Nelly has posted has been some form of D&D or something about her to do with D&D. So
I found a podcast, which is quite famous podcast. So I imagine, and it's from like 2012, so it's not recent. So it's not like I've discovered this amazing podcast. It's a very well-known podcast called Drunks and Dragons, which I found, which I think was incredibly relevant because they're brand new to the whole thing, and they're doing their first one is a Halloween one, and they're like a group, and they're basically doing a podcast, and they're a podcast group that actually have other podcasts about like Game of Thrones and things like that. So I was like, this is very relevant, and I started listening to it, and then I got really interested in it, and now I have dice, and I've never played a game, but I own dice because they're pretty. But then it got a bit crazier, and I haven't told you guys about the crazier bit because this is the bit that I'm going to post photos about because I went a bit mental. So I'm going to post a series of photos, and we're gonna show them one at a time, and we're going to show the improvement that I've gone through since the original attempt, which I will admit, and I probably shouldn't admit live on the internet, was at work. And I was very bored, but it was a Saturday, and our Saturdays are always super chill and super sort of do as you want. So now I've just got to find. I have saved all of them, so they will be easy to find. So I've just got to find the first one, which is this one. So this is my first. This was because ages and ages ago I saw a thing about how to draw stuff for Dungeons and Dragons. So this is my very first attempt on a post-it note at work, which I'm really hoping is going to send. It did send, thank God. Give it a sec. It did turn up. So this was my very first attempt on a post-it note at work, which was quite cute. Except
quite good.
The front door's sort of falling over, and I realised when I got to like the top
Atmospheric.
room. The top room. I realised that there's no furniture in the rest of this dungeon or whatever. So there's just a random wardrobe and a I think it's a bed in that top. So that was drawn at work whilst I was incredibly bored. So we got better from there. We then purchased paper, and I think I won't bother with like the in between ones. But this was attempt number 2. So I also had like build up shots of sort of the process of drawing them. So this was the slightly better attempt with actual paper that meant that my stuff didn't fall over whilst I was doing things because I actually have perspective. I'm terrified that my internet's going to break now and it's going to be like, haha, no, thank you.
I'm just waiting with anticipation to see this next iteration.
They do get better as they go along. I'm going to try my Wi-Fi. My Wi-Fi is really bad in my room, but it might be better than my mobile data for sending this photo. Come on. Wait for it. Now it's going to get really unhappy because I switched the internet. So yeah, so I have bought... If it doesn't work, I have it in front of me, so I can just hold it up, but I'm quite tiny, so...
I can't just full screen you, though, while it's up. Oh, there we go.
Oh, there we go. It's sent.
Woo! Oh, wow.
So that was attempt number 2, which was based off the original one. I then forgot furniture again. I also got some of the walls wrong. So the walls sort of went a bit wrong, so it's not actually the same structure as the original one. But that one has shading and things. And I thought I was like, that's pretty cute. And then my third and final attempt, well, not final, but my third attempt, which is the most recent one, obviously, is actually going to send, I think, a little bit more directly because I don't have to find it from my gallery because this has been over several days. So yeah, I've gone a little bit crazy. There we go, third one. Third and final. John's putting us back where we're supposed to be.
Yeah, I'm just fixing things.
That's...
Oh no, it's turned round.
There's a rotate button, I think.
Not in Discord.
I can rotate it on my...
Just rotate your screens, folks.
Yeah, just look at it sideways.
Yeah, that'll work.
Oh, that actually works.
I'm wondering if I find it in my gallery, if I can
That's
rotate it.
actually
Because
really good,
You
that.
should be able to, yeah. I mean, most phones have that built in to be able to rotate images.
my original
sitting
one was
upside
the
down
right way
for it.
round because I carefully moved all of them because for some weird reason my camera was flipping things upside down. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Don't worry about it. I don't need the right way up
I'll
photos.
rotate off when I do photos or take photos because it's just
Yeah.
way. Oh, hurry.
I don't know if this one's going to be the right way around because it looks like it should be. The original one looks like it should be the right way around. Crystal Maids. But yeah, so I randomly started drawing D&D dungeons as well.
God knows.
This is going to be like a massive pile of...
You missed about an hour and a half of the show, Scott.
Yeah, the whole podcast, we're leaving in about 15 minutes.
We're just talking about Nellie's new obsession with D&D and she's never played a game.
Yeah, I was thinking, not played
Yeah.
a single game, and I love it.
I'm going to hold up
Aw,
a thing.
That's
I
so
3D
cute.
printed, or attempted to 3D print a miniature.
Mm.
It's actually really hard to get the settings right on a 3D printer to print something that small.
Oh yeah, I can
They're,
imagine.
they're actually quite a fiddle. And my camera's not doing a great job of focusing. But hey,
Yeah, no, it's
there's
pretty good
not a
on my
lot of
end.
detail. There's
Yeah.
not a lot of detail in it, unfortunately, but it's all right for a first few attempts. I actually made a giant grid a while ago out of foam boards. That's all jigsaw pieced.
That's cool.
So I have a giant ass battle grid. It's an A1
Mm.
board.
Yeah, no, I found
It's-
this a while
But
ago.
those map drawings are amazing.
Thank you.
They are-
I was
they're
really
really
proud of
good.
them.
They're really good.
Like
I was really proud of them.
you should be.
And then
Like,
I was like, and then I worked out that if I was careful, but oh no, I have matched up the shadows. I was like, I didn't think I matched up the shadows. Is I can make the obviously not the post-it note one, but you know the post-it note one was technically a scrappy version of the
draft,
first one.
yeah.
But actually, the second and third ones do match. So you can there's like a corridor that leads out of the first one. I'm going to say first and
Oh.
second rather than second and third because it makes more sense. So we're going to scrap the post-it note because that was just at work.
Yeah.
And there's a corridor that leads out of the first one, and there's a corridor that leads into the second. And I was like, actually, those match up. So the second one could be just the downstairs of the first one. So it's actually
Yeah.
fairly large. Kitty cat.
This cat,
Cat.
so something about this cat that's quite funny that I quite quite enjoy watching is that so he hides in my washing basket just where he likes.
Yeah.
Cats
Whenever
like
he's
washing
been in there
baskets.
for like he's been in there for like basically the entirety of the podcast. So he's just stumbled out, and he just looked hungover. So he just kind of stumbles out and he's like,
Bedhead.
where am I?
What's happened?
What am I doing? So Nelly, do you have anything else big that you want to talk about? Because if not, I've got charity stuff to talk about.
Yeah, you can carry on.
Cool.
Yeah. Little dice.
Yeah, so we've all got dice.
I've got dice in
I,
the box, but it's for Magic. It's not for D&D.
I was even like
Still
sitting
dice.
here and I was like coming up with ways that the maps worked. Like, and I don't understand how DMing works, but I was like, I've drawn pillars in them, and I was like, there's two like metal doors in the second one, and I was like, you could have like the option like you can bash the door down.
Yep.
But if you bash the door down, you're gonna have like a horde of like minion type bosses, or you can use the magic pillars to open the door. You know, you work out the magic pillar, open the door. That summons one person who's slightly stronger, but also doesn't summon the horde. Because each of the metal doors has like loot behind it, but obviously you don't know that until you go through them.
Yep.
So I was like,
That's pretty standard dungeon design,
yeah.
you know. That's
So I was
what you
like,
expect.
yeah. So I was like, so yeah. So I was like, it even has options.
Yeah, that's always
So,
a good thing.
but yeah. So
So,
that was my fun artwork, and I'm obsessed with it now. And I'm like doing it at work, and I'm doing it at home, and I'm like, I was playing Overwatch and drawing the dungeon. Well, whenever I died, I was like, quite 10 seconds. Like, how much detail can I get in 10 seconds?
so
So,
in the last cast, I announced I was doing a charity event in January.
mhm.
So, in the 2 weeks since, there have been some things put in place. The venue that I wanted, which is Engaged Gaming in Aberdeen, they are on board. Um, I have the 2 days that I asked for, they are mine. Um, so, depending on, I need to get some specifics, so we'll be looking at things like what space we're allowed to use, and then I can decide whether or not we're going to sell tickets and blah blah blah. But in place right now, I have a venue. I also have
Nice.
2 events, so we're going to do 36 hours, I'm not going to do 48. So it will start at about 12 on the 20. So the dates are 27th and 28th of January 2020. So if anybody wants to come to that, there's your time. You decide. It's running for 36 hours. The initial plan right now is that there'll be a tournament, a fighting game tournament, because one of the guys who's there also runs Reset, which is a big fighting game group in Aberdeen. So I said to him, like, why don't we do a little bit of cross promotion here? You guys can do like a fighting game. And then Chizzy just came up with this fantastic name. But before I do that, the charity that we're doing it for, still need to confirm this with them, but it's going to be Alzheimer's Scotland. Alzheimer's is a very, very personal thing to me, to my family, to my mum. Lost 2 aunties and her mother, so my granny, to it. So we're going to aim for doing it with them. So on the Tuesday night, we're going to be, before we close the doors, because I think we're gonna close the doors in between like midnight and maybe like 9 a.m. And I'm gonna go get a sleep while the tournament's happening. So that is going to be called A Fight to Remember. That is Chizzy's gift to it. So as soon as he said it, I was like, that's cheesy as fuck, but it's the best thing I've ever heard. It's for Alzheimer's, so
Yeah.
it's really, really good. It fits it. So it's going to be like a one-off tournament. We'll maybe come up with some sort of prize or something like that for the winner. So that's going to end the Tuesday night, and then the finale for the entire thing, provided everybody gets here, will be the podcast live with all of us in the same room, which is something I mentioned last week.
Yep.
Well, not last week, the last podcast. But that's going to be the finale. But we're going to do things a bit differently. So I didn't mention this to you guys before because it was kind of like it's still kind of up in the air about how the format of that one's going to go. But we may double the length of it. Sorry, cat's after my headphones. We may double the length of that cast for that week because it's a special one. Because what I want to do is I want to get Gibble on. He is the guy who runs Engage and Reset. So I want to get him on. I want to give him some time to talk about Engage and Reset. Nero, can we not do this now, please? So going to give him time to talk about that. I also want to get some other people on that may or may not be helping out with the event. I want to get some of that because I have a PR team for this. So I have 2 people who are going to be helping me out with PR and contacting people and some other bits and pieces. I want to get them on. I want to make sure that they are thanked and, appreciated for what they've done. And I want to make that quite a big thing.
Yeah.
I've also asked my mum if she'll come up and kind of talk about things. I was in, 2 aunties and our mum to that and kind of how that was. So I want to do that in that space of time as well. So that's why I'm thinking we make it longer and just have that closed down. So the end of it would essentially be almost sort of like a chat show more than a podcast, which is the plan at the moment. So one of the other cool things that has been suggested that one of my PR girls wants to do is she wants to walk around with a video camera and kind of just document the whole thing as it's happening, kind of some of the build up, and then that will get kind of edited and uploaded onto YouTube. So there's a lot of background sort of behind the scenes and how stressed out I get because I'm going to be puppet mastering the whole thing while I'm on it as well, and just sort of like, you know, just capturing some of that stuff behind the scenes so that people can see kind of how much work goes into these things. Especially something small, like basically small scale for what this is going to be. So that's going to be quite cool to do. So obviously anybody that's likely to be in it, they'll be asked before, like if they're okay with being on it. But I thought it was a really cool idea because as soon as she said it, I was like, yes, absolutely. That's going to be a really good idea.
Just
Cat
pick him
strikes
up.
again.
There we go.
He's fucking twice the size he was.
Yeah, they go.
So yeah, that's kind of where we're sitting with that right now. Is
Does he have a jingly bell?
he has a collar on because I need to know here where he is because he just sneaks up. He just sneaks up, and I've stood on his tail so many times while I've been in the kitchen washing dishes because he's behind me and I don't know he's there.
Yep.
And then he looks
That's
at
a
me
cat
like it's
special.
my fault, and I'm like, "You're standing
totally.
right behind me. What do you think was gonna happen?" I stood in his paws this morning because he just darted into the room as I was taking a step, and then he's like, "Meow, it's your fault, you fucking idiot. It's not me."
That's cats, though. That's
Yeah.
how they exist. Like Cole does this to me sometimes. Like I'll know he's in the kitchen, but then I won't notice him like take the wrong steps towards me as I step back and then step on one of his paws, and it's like fuck.
You're not going
I
anywhere
feel so
because you
bad, but I
attack
also-
things when I let you free. So no, I'm staying here. So
I hate it.
we're looking like we're gonna have quite a thing.
Yeah, sounds amazing.
If I get the whole building, which is essentially just one floor though, I have an idea of what I want to do with it. So it's fine. Just stay this with you. Nero, you're not going anywhere, buddy, until I'm done with speaking. So, hi, stop. It's there's like this sort of open space, and then there's a whole lot of computer banks. So obviously, people go and play games. That's the whole point of the place. So the computer banks, we can't move those. They're where they are. Scott, that might not be a bad suggestion, buddy. I will mention that, but it depends on licensing and stuff. So I would need to speak to Gibble, but I will actually speak to him if you are genuinely game for that. So what I want to do as well is I want to get multiple video cameras and kind of just have these different areas set up, so that, you know, we maybe do like when it starts, we'll just go in, we'll play some games, and just get some people on, whoever we manage to get for whatever people we manage to get, and just kind of have them come in for like maybe the first kind of 5-6 hours possibly, and then I want to switch it to cameras that are overlooking sort of like table set up for board games and just do like a block of board games, end the Tuesday with the tournament, and then have that kind of set up again for the Wednesday, just stuff like board games or something set up, or maybe like a D&D session that people are playing, because people go there and do all sorts of stuff. There's board games, there's like some of the uni societies use that for like retro gaming tournaments, and there's all sorts of stuff going on that happen in that place. So there's loads of things that we might be up, but it all depends on what space we've got, because I have an idea of where I want to use to start to have like our stream area set up, because there's like this little corner that if we get the right lighting and stuff, it'd be fucking perfect for it, and then just kind of have everything go on behind us. There's a guy who sells retro games and consoles in Aberdeen. He's on board. I've asked him if near the time, if there's like a bundle, like a console bundle with some games and stuff like that, I wouldn't mind donating. That would be awesome. I might even see if I can get my stall set up, just a small one where you can sell some of the stuff off with a little bit of a cut of that coming to us for the charity stuff. There is a lot of things now compared to where I was even just 2 weeks ago. There's a lot of things now that I can start doing. And now Scott's giving me another idea. So yeah, there's things that are in place that I didn't have 2 weeks ago. And I was speaking to somebody yesterday who might be helping me out, sending some emails to some devs and some radio people and whatever else, and some newspapers and stuff. And he asked me, he was like, "So how are you feeling about it now?" And this is, I was like, it's probably the thing I've been most excited for in my life ever, but it's also the thing that I've been the most nervous about in my life ever.
Mm-hmm.
Because I want this to be good. I want to raise a lot of money. I want it to be good. I want it to be entertaining for everybody that comes. I want it to be. One of the highlights of this for me is it's going to be having all of us in the same room for the first time doing this, because we've been doing this since November. And I mean, I know you came in later, Nelly, but it's been one of these things where we talk to each other on the internet, but other than me and Bob, none of us have ever actually met. And that would be really, really cool, because I really hope that same interaction that we have on the podcast is the same when we're all together. Because I'm personally I'm a different person in person, but when it's going to be for this, I'm going to have to be in that same mindset for 36 hours. So I know what's going to happen at the end of that. I'm going to collapse on the floor. That's what, because my brain will just be fucking mush. Would be Scott, by the way, Scott would be quite happy to meet you, Bob. I think he's wanted to meet you for a while. He quite likes you. Scott,
Your mic cut out.
Scott in my work, one of the chefs at my work, he's wanted to meet Bob for quite a while. So, yeah. So I'm very, very, very excited about it. I'm very, very nervous about it. As things fall more and more into place, it's becoming more and more real to me. For something that's been a pipe dream for a very long time, it's crazy now because it's happening. It's a thing. It exists. There's a date. I have a place for it, and people are involved and excited to be involved and giving me ideas.
It's gonna happen.
And I'm just like, my brain is just, because I'm so used to, and this is kind of like a real part of me here that you're gonna. And Bob already knows this about me, but I am so used to feeling ignored in my life or invisible, because there's a lot of situations where I'll have an idea, or I'll be having a conversation, or I'll say something, and you just feel like the room doesn't hear you, whoever you're talking to, and that ties into why I'm so quiet, because it's like, well, if nobody wants to listen to what I've got to say, then why say it? And then that just has a snowball effect on your brain, and you end up just not having anything to say. And it's not that you don't want to say anything, it's just you don't have anything to say. And it's been so nice and kind of quite good for me mentally when I talked about this, for people to just come to me and go, I want to help.
Yeah.
Because it actually feels like, for the first time in my life for me, that I've been heard in some way, which is fucking awesome, because that does some good shit for you. It makes you feel good, because everybody that I've mentioned it to has been like, how can I help? How can I help? And they're helping, and it's been really, really nice. So it's not just that we get to do something really, really cool for charity. It is mentally helping me in a very, very positive way to kind of maybe get out of some of the holes that my brain is still in. Ever since we started this as well, though, I speak more than I ever did. It's so bizarre just being this very different person in sort of 10 months that we've been doing this. So, and this charity thing as well, it's just, there's a lot of positive things that can come out of it. It's going to be incredibly difficult, and I'm going to need a hell of a support network to get through that 36 hours. But yeah, it's something that I'm very, very excited about. Very, very excited about.
Good.
So, that's kind of it for me for now. There'll probably be more updates in 2 weeks, because I will have had my meeting with my team. I will have spoke to Alzheimer's Scotland. I will have done many different things. I'll have more information, more things in place. So it's basically kind of going to be what's coming from me between now and January. It's just going to be charity updates for the most part, because that's the big thing that I'm working on. So and it is taking up pretty much all of my free time. So the fact that it's funny, right? Because I never do this. But Scott's in charge of the rotas for the last 2 weeks, and he just said to me, "What do you need?" And I went, "Well, Borderlands is out on Friday." And he was like, "So you want Friday off then?" I went, "Yeah." Because it was like, otherwise I'd be working, and then I'd come home and I'd be doing charity stuff, and I would just not get to it. Whereas I'm working all day tomorrow, but then I finish, and by the time I get back, it should be installed, and I should just be able to jump straight in it and just play it, get the council stuff out of the way, which I didn't even talk about, but there's holes in my wall in my kitchen and my bathroom, and then go to sleep, wake up, stream with Bob. I'm not in till late on the Saturday because he's a fucking hero, and he's giving me a lie-in on the Saturday as well. So I can just chill. I can just chill for like essentially a day and a half, and just play a game that I've been waiting for a very long time. I was saying as well, actually, just to go back to Borderlands, it's weird because Gearbox have been incredibly sneaky with the release date. Borderlands 2 released on the 18th of September 2012. Borderlands 3 is set 7 years after Borderlands 2. So it is basically exactly 7 years to the date that Borderlands 2 released at the release of 3. I was like, you sneaky bastards!
You released on the 13th.
Released on the 18th of September, and it's coming out on the 13th of September. So 2 released on the 18th. And depending on how the calendar falls, because it's weird when you look at it, because it's probably not exactly like the 13th of September to the 13th of September is probably not exactly 7 years. So, because
if you've got a leap year, and you got all the weird adjustment stuff.
So, like, because calendars sit weird, they don't flow the way you would think they would.
So it's the same day of the week adjusted. Yeah. Oh, no, yeah, that makes sense. Because I was like, hold on, 13 and 18 are not equal.
So they've been pretty fucking sneaky with that one.
Yeah, that's actually quite clever.
I was just sitting going,
clever
bastards. It's like, you absolute bad, you snuck that one by everybody. Because no one else has called it out that I've seen. And I've been like, what? 7 years after the game, and it's releasing 7 years after the game released. And I'm just like, I wouldn't even notice that unless
Gearbox.
I was speaking to someone about the release date. I was speaking to Jamie at my work about the release date for Board because he was asking me. I was like 2012. Then I looked. It was 18th of September, and then I was speaking to somebody in Discord yesterday. And I went 13th of September. 7 years later, the game is set 7 years. You fucking assholes. You sneaky bastards.
Gearbox are good at that though, like tucking like so many little things, little threads and Easter eggs and that into their games. Like even from the first one, there was like so many Easter eggs and references, little clever things that make you go, "Fuck!" They put some thought into this, and they amplified that in 2, so they've got a high bar for free.
I'm not even going to talk about some people not getting review code because I think the reaction to that on the internet has been absolutely fucking ridiculous and unnecessary. It's like 7 different outlets only got review codes instead of everybody getting it. And I was like, well, that's their decision at the end of the day. Yeah. This is like the people that are reporting about it were the people that didn't get the review code. So to me, that's just being fucking petty that you didn't get the code. They've said that it's for like to stop leaks.
Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense to stop leaks because...
Oh, that's total fabricated bullshit. It's nothing to do with stopping leaks. But that doesn't matter. It's their game. They can do whatever the fuck they want with it. It's if they only want to give it to 7 outlets until the game is out, then that's what they want to do. As long as those outlets are not being paid for positive reviews, which they're not, because not all of them were particularly good, but they were taking points off for stupid reasons. Fucking Polygon complained that it was the same as Borderlands 2. And I was like, anybody who's played Borderlands just wants more Borderlands. So how is that a bad thing? Like,
also, there's a lot more environments now.
What was it? Never really felt like I left Pandora, and it just felt like I was playing Borderlands 2 again. Yeah, buddy, I've got 150 plus hours in Borderlands 2 for a reason. Not because I've got nothing better to do, like strangle this fucking cat because he keeps chewing on my headphones. Internet, I'm not actually going to strangle my cat. It's just a joke. chill out.
She's still trying to get your earphones.
He's just trying to chew on something. This is
Oh,
what
he's
this,
so
this
cute.
is what he does. He just bites. He just bites. He's a little shit. So yeah. So like, and then GameSpot one just it made me angry laugh. Like, and I don't know if you've ever done an angry laugh, but you're like, I want to be pissed off, but this is just too funny. They gave it minus points because some of the bosses had a lot of health.
Had a what? Sorry, you cut out.
Had a lot of health. They were bullet sponges. I was like, well, hang on, it's an RPG, so you could just go back, grind a little bit, find some better weapons, and then maybe fight again.
Yeah.
So just being shit at what you do.
Also, it wouldn't be an RPG if the bosses didn't have some sponginess to them.
Fight
Like,
kill, you fucking weirdo. Yeah, so it was like, it's an RPG. Bullet sponges exist. Health sinks exist. They're in every single fucking RPG that there is. Just
it's
before
about
we go,
how you live and scale yourself.
That was actually that was the big thing that I had to talk about, but then the charity stuff and that went on longer than I thought, is it's a rant about how reviews go these days, right? So games are no longer reviewed on the merits of what they are. Games are reviewed on a personal preference, and they generally will put someone on that may not necessarily like the game. So instead of reviewing a game as what it is, a game, and reviewing it based on the mechanics in it and how well they work, let's review it as if we're a fan or we're not a fan. Now, I think reviews should be done objectively. Is it objectively or subjectively?
Objectively is you're focusing more on hard truths. Subjective is where you put opinions in.
So that also ties into the things like Mario, Odyssey, and Breath of the Wild, and whatever else getting perfect 10s, and then something that's actually good getting like 6s or 7s. And it's like, okay, so what? That's the media darling at the moment, so we're going to give that the perfect scores. But then something like Borderlands comes out, we're not going to give them it because it's not something that we particularly like. The whole review process right now is incredibly fucking flawed. Stop moving. It's incredibly flawed.
It's never going to happen.
I full screen, John.
You keep putting people in positions doing reviews that I don't think should be, because they're like, they're just not. They're not objective enough about it. It's kind of like
probably the subjective types of things. Annoyingly enough, sell better. I think
it was Sunday night
people consume it more readily.
Talking about thinking about buying Borderlands, and he's like, I'm gonna wait for some user reviews and stuff, and I went, no man, just fucking buy the game. If you like the look of it, just buy it. Like, Christ.
Yeah.
Don't wait on what anybody else has to tell you. Just buy the game and you decide for yourself if you like it or not. In most cases, you'll be able to get a refund if you don't like it. So just do that. Don't worry about what anybody else has got to say about it. Like, fuck that. Just buy a game. Christ. Like, fair enough. I've recommended stuff to you and you've gone, and then you've bought it anyway and you've actually enjoyed it, because it wouldn't have been something you'd have bought for yourself. But then you just bought it and played it, and it just so happened that I was playing it as well, and I was like, or I've given you it for nothing, and that's just kind of how it's landed. But that's different. Don't wait on some fucking dickhead on Twitch, not Twitch, fucking Steam, being like, this game's shit because I didn't get my thing that I wanted. Like, that's just what's happening. There's just a sense of entitlement, and like a sense of entitlement, and people are just attacking each other on Twitter, and it's predominantly in the gaming industry that it's happening. Shut the fuck up. I don't know how many times I say this, how many times I've said this in the run of the podcast. Shut the fuck up and get on with your life, and do Nero. And do
your cat's not letting you get on with your life.
Yeah.
And do whatever you want to do, as long as you're not breaking any fucking laws. Stop going after people on Twitter, and stop like fucking victim culture and everything. It's a fucking game. It's 40 quid, 50 quid out your life. If it's shit, refund it. If you like it, you like it. Like, I don't know if you guys remember this, but I had a rant in our private chat when Matt posted that tweet from the guy about Randy Pitchford. I lost my shit, because, and that was the surface level shit that you saw. So he posted this tweet being like, Randy Pitchford has done this, we should boycott Borderlands 3. No, you fucking shouldn't. There's hundreds of people that work for Gearbox. You're going to boycott their game and not make sure that they get any money from those sales because of one person. Surely there's a better way and a more constructive way to go about your frustrations than telling people to boycott a game that hundreds of people have worked on for many, many years, and just punish them for it. Why? What does that serve? What purpose does that serve? Is that the thing that makes you hard? Is it at night? Is that the thing that turns you on? Is it making other people feel like shit? No, Nelly, it has to be that, because why else would you do it? Why else would you just complain? Do you know what I mean? Like, is that what tickles them? Is that what gets them going? Just, oh, this guy's a scumbag. Yeah, everybody knows that Randy Pitchford's a scumbag. We're not buying Borderlands 3 for Randy Pitchford. We're buying it for the team that built it and the game itself, believe it or not. Not because Randy Pitchford said a bad thing or Randy Pitchford did a bad. He's a dick. Get on with it. People like that exist. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. Is there not anything better to do with your life than keyboard warrioring your way through it?
For some
the
folk,
culture
that's all
we
they've
live
got.
in now.
And that's the sad thing.
Oh, ran over. That felt good.
And I'm in no way justifying or defending them. Like, if anything, I'm highlighting how bad it is for it.
It's just
Like, fair enough. If something's annoyed you and you want to have a rant, then fine, vent all you want. But
don't try and attack a team of hundreds of people for it. Like, you're not attacking Randy Pitchford at that point. You're punishing the many for the faults of one. And that is not how we should go. Not in any way, shape, or form. I've worked for companies that punish the entire teams because of one person. And you're like, well, hang on a minute, you know it's them, so why the fuck are we taking the flak for them?
it's like this sort of thing happens in school as well. I remember the number of times someone would be acting up in class, and then the teacher would be like, right, no one's getting break. And it's like, this had nothing to do with me. I sat doing my work. This is not fair. And I think it's this idea of trying to, like, turn more people against that one person to really enforce it. And that is a horrible way of doing things. Absolutely horrible way of doing things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like you're trying to incite a mob. And that's just not cool. In any way, shape, or form.
Frustrates me and it fucks me off. Like, do you know what? I have so much stuff going on in my life right now. I'm trying to balance everything. I get annoyed about things. I don't have the time to sit on Twitter, and it didn't take long to send a tweet, but I don't have time to sit on Twitter and be like, this guy's a dick. Like, I'm gonna use the first one for a while. The guy that put that tweet out is a cunt. That is the way that I would describe him, because it's just,
you need a swear jar.
Such
we do. Oh my god!
We do.
And then all of it gets donated at the event.
Maybe that's what we should do.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Just all
every time someone swears, they have to donate £1.
Or just whatever you've got in your pocket. Just like
I don't have anything in my pocket. You can have my card.
Couple of pence. It doesn't have to be £1. Just start filling a jar.
If we set up like a PayPal.me for the group, and then let the folks in chat swear as much as they like, and every time they swear, they also have to donate.
Christ,
we'll keep a tally from now until.
How much we
but no, we're going to keep a tally from now until the charity stream of our own swears in podcast.
Oh yeah, actually, I've set a relatively small goal of like about £2,500 for raising it, for raising that money. But depending on how things lie after we've set everything up, I will be prepared for it to go above that. So one of the other things as well is, I said this to you guys just before we went on, I'm not shaving my beard, and I probably won't get my hair cut between now and January. So that's going to be kind of one of the donation milestones, is that when we hit that point,
I did try to convince him to shave his head.
I'll get the hair cut off and I'll get rid of the beard completely.
He's not going bald.
I'm not going bald, but I will lose the hair.
So I have tried that. In case anybody else wants to also pester power.
But I will keep this going until January. I will let this grow out until January, and then it'll all.
You know what? I haven't cut my hair for a year. I'll also not cut my hair until January.
and then get it all shaved off and go completely bald for charity. Yeah, Nelly. So wait, if I've got to do it, you've got to do it.
Yeah, no, if I tie my hair back, I look like a pumpkin. Do you remember that one time I came on and we were all sitting in chat and I was like, oh, maybe I'll have my hair tied up for this one. And then it was like 5 seconds later and I was like, no, 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 you know what? I've changed my mind. My hair gets tied up for work and that is it. And then I have to have hair.
So that's us, I think. We're past 11 o'clock. So
Yeah.
close us down, Nelly.
Okay. I didn't think about this bit.
Do you want me to do it?
No, I can do it. I'll give you a second. I just can't think what you normally say
I say
when we close.
that's
That's
fuck
kind of
it.
it.
Do you know what? I'm just
Yeah.
gonna do it. I'm just gonna.
No.
It's just come on, because it's like after Bob's tired.
We're all
He
tired.
needs to go to his
Okay.
bed. He needs his dummy.
There we go. Bob's done his outro.
So that is us for this week, guys.
Oh yeah, that's what you say.
We are back in 2 weeks, and then we'll be talking more shit. I guess it's my turn to host again. So, so Nelly,
Officially.
anything from you before we go?
No, I'm good to go.
Bob,
Bye.
what you got, buddy?
I've released my latest video. That's about it, really. And there'll be another one in 2 weeks. I also have been doing some background work on a little thing, a project that I alluded to like a few weeks ago, probably months ago, actually, about doing pixel art using HTML and CSS.
Oh shit!
I've made progress on some code, a little Python application that will basically generate canvases for me that I can then manipulate, and I'm going to try and turn that into a sort of a series, where I'll try and just like bash out some pixel art with just code.
You know what? I'm almost done. Don't, buddy. Can we not? Please give me like 2.5 minutes. 2.5 minutes, and
You understand now the times that me and Bob get distracted by our pets.
It's different though. This
This is pest
our
power.
pets are being cute, and we're just like,
We just
"Internet,
love them.
look at our
We just
cats."
love them.
he's being
You-
a little shit. It's
Yeah,
different.
you hate him.
Don't hate him. He's just being a little shit right now. I'm trying to do stuff. He always does this when I'm trying. He's fucking docile as fuck and sweeps when I'm doing nothing. See, as soon as I go to do something, like I'm doing right now, he's just like, me. Like, just go to sleep, man. Just go to sleep.
it's because it's what they need. They're
Attention.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Carry on.
So maybe in the next few weeks, I don't know how long it's going to take me to get everything prepared, but I might start doing another series on top of the Minecraft stuff. Because I really love pixel art, that sort of neon, surreal, dream pixel art. It's a style I really love. So, and depending on how good I get, if I get some JavaScript in there, I might even get some animation on. See how it
just,
goes.
Nero, you're gonna sit like this. Cool. So for me, it's the usual. Just share us out, like us, send some comments, and
for Nero.
yeah, and we'll see you in 2 weeks for the next one. Halloween special. We have a plan for Halloween.
Oh yeah,
special.
planning that too. Well,
But, the art will change for Halloween as well.
Oh,
Yeah, we'll get
Ooh.
some spooky stuff made up. Nothing crazy, but we are getting some spooky stuff. Because I was like, I might not be able to pay very much for it, Blue, so it just kind of go super basic. But we need a Halloween because it's for one thing as well. So I was like,
yeah,
don't
it's
go
gonna get
nuts
used
with it.
once.
Cool. We shall see you in 2 weeks, guys. Bye.
Yeah.
bye.
Bye everyone.